Hello economics students. In this video we're going to unpack a SAC or exam question, something that will hopefully give you confidence going into your first SAC and eventually your exam. So remember, when we're looking at an economics question we have to spend some time to break down what the teacher or the assessor or the examiner is actually wanting us to do, right? So let's do that quickly here. So first of all, we've got this question, which is to distinguish between productive and intertemporal efficiency. Now there's 3 points of information that we need to get to look at. So first of all is that we have this task verb to distinguish between. In this case, we're distinguishing between productive and intertemporal efficiency. So we need to show the difference between these two types of efficiencies. Third piece of information is that we need to look at how many marks are on offer, because that's going to tell us how much writing or the level of detail that we should go into in this particular question. Okay, so we've got to distinguish between these two concepts and we've got 3 marks. So let's think about how we might get the marks for this. Now there are a number of different ways to do this, but the simplest way when you get a distinguished question is to define, and then demonstrate the difference between the two concepts. So the first mark is for demonstrating an understanding of productive efficiency. Now I don't call it definition because in economics you don't have to necessarily give a uniform definition. You need to be able to demonstrate you understand what productive efficiency is, which can be done in a number of different ways. It turns out to define it is probably the easiest way, but just keep that in mind. Then obviously we need to demonstrate an understanding of intertemporal efficiency. And finally, the third mark for me would be outlining the distinction between the two concepts. So what is the key difference between productive and intertemporal efficiency? And what you really want to do here is try to add extra information. You want to try not to just repeat your two definitions. You want to give something more, some deeper understanding to show that you know not just what they are, but what the difference between the two concepts is. So of course you can apply this to any distinguished question. Okay, let's have a look at how we're going to attempt this. So firstly, I'm going to start out by saying productive efficiency is using resources to achieve the maximum output given our inputs. That's a good start for our first mark. Then we're going to explain or demonstrate what intertemporal efficiency is, which is about balancing the use of resources towards future and current needs and wants. And finally, we're going to say the key difference between the two is that productive efficiency is shown on the whole PPF, so at any point on the PPF, whereas intertemporal is only 1 point. So that just shows a little bit deeper understanding. And also I like the idea of using the PPF to distinguish between efficiencies because it's new to the study design this year. Alright, so this is a really good solid structure. That should say towards, not towards, sorry. That should have an S there. Apologies. Towards. Let's think, how can we beef this up? Because really what you're trying to do here is you're trying to, within the time frame, you're trying to show as much relevant knowledge to the question. You're trying to impress your teacher or impress the assessor to give them everything you know about this specific question, not just everything you know, but everything you know about these concepts, productive and intertemporal efficiency, and the difference between them in a reasonable time frame. Okay, so let's think about how we could add a little bit extra detail to these. Well, first of all, we can beef up the definitions a little bit. So we might say, well, achieve maximum output, which is measured by GDP. And I've just put these in brackets just to not disturb the flow of the writing. Okay, so you can just say, well, maximum output is measured by GDP and inputs are our resources. You might even list out the resources here. It's just showing a deeper level of understanding. Intertemporal efficiency, and then it assumes that firms are producing, we're using minimum waste methods and they're maximizing their productivity. So we're just giving a more detailed definition. Okay. Intertemporal efficiency, well, what is balancing out today's needs with the future need? What does that look like? We might give an example. Okay, so we can use all our resources today to achieve productive efficiency, but that will reduce the availability of resources in the future. Okay, if we cut down all the trees today, they'll be done in the future. So yeah, we're productively efficient today, but it deteriorates or decreases intertemporal efficiency. And actually what I've done in this example is showed a deeper understanding of the distinction between the two, haven't I? Because I've used productive and intertemporal in this little example. And finally, the key difference, well, no, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. All right, so hopefully that helped you. I'm going to do a series of these videos for microeconomics, and bye for now.